Om Shanti. Good
Om
morning.
Shanti. Good evening, Guru. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Listen to Baba's Avyat Murli for today, Sunday, for 8th December 24, and the revised date is 13th February 2003. So the title is At the present time, you have to now reveal your merciful and bestower form. At the present time, you have to now reveal your merciful and bestower form. Today, the Father, the bestower of blessings, is seeing his children who are bestowers of knowledge, bestowers of power, bestowers of virtues, and messengers of God. In just this first line, we got so many self-respects. That I am a bestower of blessing, I am a bestower of virtues, I am bestower of knowledge, I am bestower of power, and I am bestower of, and I am God's child, messenger of God. Each child has become a master bestower and is making effort from his heart to bring souls close to the Father. There are many types of souls in the world. Some souls want the nectar of knowledge. Some souls want power and virtues, whereas you children constantly have all of these unending treasures. You are those who fulfill the desires of all souls. Day by day, because the time of completion is coming close, souls are now looking for some new support. Therefore, you souls have become instruments to give souls a new support. Because we are full of all these unending treasures, of all these imperishable treasures, and souls of the world are looking for power, looking for virtues. But power, they're looking for power in a different sense. But Baba says that we are the ones who can actually give them this new support because they are looking, they're seeking for some kind of support. Bapdada is pleased to see the zeal and enthusiasm of you children. On the one hand, there is a need, and on the other hand, there is zeal and enthusiasm. It's nice when the need goes with zeal and enthusiasm, or the zeal and enthusiasm supports the need of that time. Then we will not feel that I'm working too hard to provide. Because I have the zeal and enthusiasm based on knowledge, I'll just be providing happily with the zeal and enthusiasm. So even though there's a need, doesn't feel like a lot of effort. At a time of need, even one drop is very important. So at this time, there is importance in the drops you give, in the messages you give. The present time is the time for the form of all of you children to be revealed as merciful bestowers. So not just that I have mercy, oh, this is so sad, oh, this is so bad, this happened to you. Not just that, but Baba says I have to become a merciful bestower, that I have to have mercy, but at the same time bestow them with the power to overcome the situation, the power to become strong. So even in your eternal forms, you Brahmin souls have the sanskars of bestowers. This is why in the picture of the Kalpa tree, you are shown amongst the roots. The meaning of your original deity form of Devta, that is a deity, bestower, is the one who gives. So actually, if we, Baba saying you go through the cycle and all your forms, the 5 forms. So Baba says that we start with being a deity. So a deity means the one who gives. The hand is always like this, giving. Then worthy of worship. Again, worthy of worship. I am fulfilling the desires of the devotees. So I'm giving again through my drishti, through my face, through the features. So in the form of an idol. Then as a Brahmin, I'm sharing this knowledge. I'm again revealing Baba's virtues through my character, through my behavior. So again, giving. As an angel, of course, an angel is a bestower, always giving. So throughout the form, throughout the cycle, Baba has given us the form of bestower, giving. So your form in the middle period is the image of being worthy of worship. Even in the middle period, you are bestowers who give blessings through your worthy of worship forms. You are bestowers who give good wishes and blessings. The special forms of you souls is that of bestowers. So even now you have become God's messengers and are spreading the Father's message, the message of the Father's revelation. So as God's messengers, we are spreading the message of God's revelation. Therefore, let each Brahmin child check, do the original and eternal sanskars of a bestower remain constantly immersed in your life? Do the original and eternal sanskars of a bestower remain constantly immersed in your life? The sign of souls who have the sanskars of a bestower are they never have even the slightest thought that only if someone gives to them will they give, or that they will do something only if someone else does it. No, they are constantly open treasure stores, irrespective of whether they receive or they, if someone gives them or not, but they are constantly treasure stores because they are connected to the supreme treasure store. So they are not concerned about how will I be filled, because I am filled by connecting to the one. So Babdada was looking at the sanskars of a bestower in all the children everywhere. What would he have seen? It is number wise, is it not? Never have the thought, if this were like this, then I would also do this. These are not thoughts of a bestower. So, one is if I'm expecting from someone, if they behave like this, then I can, be more loving. Sometimes we say, why did this one behave like this? I got angry. That means I'm not a bestower at that time. Because they behaved this way, I got angry. No? So one is based on someone else's behavior. The other is based on the situation. If the situation was right, if my family conditions were right, I could, gallop so much in this knowledge. If I had this, I could do this. If Baba came in me, it would be easy for me to make effort. So all these thoughts, Baba says, these are not thoughts of a bestower. So those who have sanskars of a bestower automatically receive cooperation from everywhere. So I first have to have the intention of giving. When I have the intention of giving, I will automatically start receiving. I will become full. So not only from souls, but even nature becomes cooperative according to the time. It is a subtle account that when someone becomes a bestower, the fruit of that charity is that that soul easily receives cooperation and success at the right time. So underline this. when someone becomes a bestower, the fruit of that is that that soul easily receives cooperation and success at the right time. Because remember, Baba also spoke about at the time of need. So when someone needs peace because they are angry or irritated, or they got influenced by Maya, and if I am giving them anger, then I'm not a bestower. So at the time of need gives me the success, more return. Therefore, constantly keep the sanskars of a bestower emerged. In your accounts of charity, you receive tenfold fruit for one. So note how much you have accumulated throughout the day in your account of charity through your thoughts, words, relationships, and connections as a charitable soul. Even by serving with your minds, even by serving with your minds, you accumulate in your accounts of charity. You can accumulate in your account of charity by bringing happiness to weak souls with your words, by making distressed souls aware of their honor, by putting zeal and enthusiasm into disheartened souls with your words, and enabling souls who are in a relationship or connection with you to experience the color of your elevated company. So, through my thoughts, through my words, through my actions and behavior, to relationships and connections, I can keep on bestowing. So, Baba says, check how much are you accumulating in your account of charity. So, bringing happiness to weak souls through your words, making distressed souls aware of their honor by putting zeal and enthusiasm in disheartened souls with your words, enabling souls who are in connection and relationship with you to be colored by your elevated company. You accumulate so much charity in this birth that you eat the fruit of that charity for half a cycle. And for the other half of the cycle, you liberate sinful souls from their sins through the atmosphere created by your non-living images, so as worthy of worship. So Baba is reminding us that in first half of the cycle, we are the deities who are giving. And in the other half of the cycle, not to remember that I went down, Maya attacked me, and I became this, and you know, I became sinful and all that. No, Baba is saying that remember that through your non-living images, the deity, idols, through my idols, I continue to create that atmosphere to provide, to still liberate souls through my drishti, through good wishes, through blessings. So therefore, Babdada continues to look at every child's account of the charity that they have accumulated. Seeing the zeal and enthusiasm of the children at the present time for doing service, Babdada is pleased. The majority of children had very good enthusiasm for doing service. You are all putting plans of service into a practical form in your own way. Babdada is congratulating you all for this from his heart. You are doing well and will continue to do well. The best thing of all is that everyone's thoughts and time have become busy in doing this. So when I have this constant awareness of being a bestower, of being a charitable soul, then how would I spend my time? I will only create thoughts of donating, of bestowing. So Baba says, you remain busy in this service. Everyone has the aim of serving everywhere because all the complaints definitely have to end. Souls in the world are still complaining, and they might complain at the end as well that, why didn't you tell me? So Baba says, when we continue to bestow, their complaints will end. The determined thoughts of Brahmins are filled with a lot of power. If Brahmins have determination, then what is not possible? Underline this. If Brahmins have determination, nothing is impossible. Everything would be accomplished. Simply let your yoga take the form of powerful flames. Simply let your yoga take form of powerful flames. When your yoga takes the form of powerful flames, souls will automatically follow the powerful flames because when they receive light, they will be able to see the path. You are having yoga now, but it has to take the form of a powerful flame. Zeal and enthusiasm for doing service are increasing very well, but you now have to underline yoga. During this week, Baba has emphasized that everything is on yoga, is on remembrance. So Baba was saying that my remembrance should take the form of powerful flames. It's called Jwalamukhi Yoga, where there's so much power. And when we see fire, fire gives heat, fire also shows light. So Baba says that these powerful flames will show others the path, but will also bring them closer, will give them that warmth, that sustenance. So, but you now have to underline yoga in order for it to take the form of powerful flames. Your drishti should have such a sparkle that others definitely experience something or other from it. Bapdada liked the method of serving that people abroad did, of the call of the time, the bringing of small gatherings close. So, call of the time still happens every year, and it's bringing people close, right? People of influence. So, it's like a dialogue which is created to sustain people of influence. So every center, every zone is doing their individual service, but you now have to create a gathering of all the professions. Bapdada has told you that service spreads everywhere. So now select a gathering of worthy souls from those who have been served everywhere and bring them close. Then, from time to time, continue to bring that gathering close. Enable their zeal and enthusiasm for doing service to increase. Bapdada says that there are such souls, but that they are not receiving sustenance in a powerful way collectively. There are such souls of influence who have received the message, but they are not receiving sustenance in a powerful way. So they are receiving sustenance individually according to their capacity. Like the instruments are keeping in touch with them, they'll message once in a while. But to invite them in such collective energy in gatherings, Baba says that's what is needed. So in a way, where in a gathering, when they see one another, if that one can do this, then I can also do it. I will also do it. They can then have enthusiasm. Bapdada now wants to see this practical collective form of service. Bapdada is pleased to see that each one of you is making very good effort to serve your professions your areas, your zones, and your centers. Now bring some of those in front of Baba. The enthusiasm of the householders also reaches Bab Dada. Bab Dada is also pleased to see the double foreigners having a double task of living at home and making effort in doing service and making effort on themselves. So Baba praises the double foreigners because they 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 do a job, they do service, they pay special attention on themselves, they live at home with families, taking care of the home. So Baba says, Baba has, Baba is pleased with double foreigners. When you see the atmosphere abroad at the present time, you Brahmin souls are not afraid, are you? You are not worrying about what will happen tomorrow, are you? Tomorrow it will be good. It is good that anything that happens will be good. To the extent that there is upheaval in the world, to the extent the stage of you Brahmin souls will remain unshakable. Baba has so much faith in us. He says to the extent that there is upheaval in the world, to that extent, the stage of us Brahmins will be unshakable. Is it like this? Are you double foreigners shaking or are you unshakable? Are you unshakable? Are you not fluctuating? Are you? Those who are unshakable, raise your hands. You are unshakable. What if something happens tomorrow? You will still be unshakable, will you not? What will happen? Nothing will happen. You Brahmins have the canopy of God's protection over you. So as long as I have the canopy of God's protection over me, nothing will happen. So not to be afraid of what will happen. So when something is waterproof, then no matter how much water comes, because it is waterproof, you remain waterproof. In the same way, no matter how much upheaval there is, Brahmin souls are constantly proof that is safe under the canopy of God's protection. So, whatever happens in the world, we Brahmin children are protected under God's canopy. But I have to remember, it's like if it's raining and I don't wear my waterproof suit, my waterproof jacket, I will get wet. So, in the same,
Didi,
Mhm.
can you repeat the line where you were saying that as long as what we stay under Baba's canopy?
So as long as we create Baba's canopy, we create the thought that I am under Baba's canopy. I am protected under Baba's canopy.
So the Swaman that we're under Baba's.
It's the self respect that I need to create. I have to remember that I am protected under God's canopy of protection. Hmm? So Baba says that huh, just as if it's raining and if we don't wear our waterproof jacket, then we will get wet. So, in the same way, that when there is upheaval in the world, and if I am not under this canopy, if I'm not wearing my jacket, my canopy of protection, then I will be influenced by the upheaval that's happening in the world. So, you are carefree emperors, are you not? Or are you a little worried about what will happen? No, carefree, right? Be a self sovereign, be a carefree emperor, and remain set on the unshakable and immovable seat. It is the seat of self respect, it is the seat of being under God's canopy of protection. To become upset, that means I'm not set in my seat. Upset means that you are not set on your seat, for this is why you become upset. Those who are set on their seats cannot become upset even in their dreams. What do you mothers think? Do you know how to set yourselves and sit on your seats? There isn't fluctuation, is there? Babdada is combined with you. Since the Almighty Authority is combined with you, why should you be afraid? If you consider yourself to be alone, there would be fluctuation. If you remain combined, then no matter how much fluctuation there is, you would remain unshakable. So if I think that I am alone, I have to do all this alone, then there will be fluctuation. The slightest things might create fear, might irritate me, might create disappointment, disheartenment. But if, Baba says, if I know that Babdada is combined with me, combined, then there's no fluctuation. I won't be scared anymore. So is this right, mothers? Are you all right? You are combined, are you not? You are not alone, are you? It is the father's responsibility. If you are set on your seats, it is the father's responsibility. I have to be set on my seat for the father to carry on his responsibility. So the first step is that I have to remind myself of who am I. I have to become combined with Baba. Then I will experience. So it's the same way like when you're in the rain, you have to open the umbrella. I could be carrying the umbrella with me, but if I don't open it, how will I be protected? So in the same way, Baba is saying that to be combined, to remember that Baba is my canopy of protection. If you become upset, then it is your responsibility. Then it's not the father's responsibility. But if I become upset, then Baba says it's your responsibility. Interestingly, we have to really start taking responsibility for our actions. Very conveniently, we blame everyone and everything else around us for our actions or our behavior. We start blaming. Because of this, I got angry. Because they said this, I said. Because this happened, I did this. We hardly take responsibility for our behavior and our actions. So it's high time now we start taking responsibility because law of karma. I am performing irrespective of what reaction it was, because of what the reaction came. But the reaction came. I reacted. My karmic account is created. The other person will have their own karmic account. Whatever their reaction, whatever their behavior was, it's their karmic account. I have to take responsibility for my actions and behavior. So if you continue to give souls a drop with a message, you will remain stable in the form of a bestower, and you will continue to receive power as the fruit of charity you did as a bestower. Whilst walking and moving around, let there constantly be the awareness emerged of your being a soul, one who makes others act, and that your physical organs are your workers who do the work. Don't think I am a soul anyway. Let this be immersed in your awareness that I am a soul, self-sovereign. It is emerged there. Sorry. Let this be immersed in your awareness. It is merged there. But when it has emerged, you will have that intoxication, happiness, and controlling power. You also enjoy yourselves. Why? Just as a king keeps all his workers under his control and makes them work according to his orders, in the same way, when you are aware of being a soul who is Karavanhar, the one who gets things done, all your physical senses will remain in order. So when I remind myself that I am Karavanhar, I am the king of these sense organs, I am the master, I am a self sovereign, then all these sense organs will listen to the king. They will not come under Maya's orders. They will remain under your orders. Otherwise, Maya sees when a soul who is making others do everything has become careless, so she begins to give orders. So Maya takes it upon herself. If the king is sleeping, if the king is not alert, then Maya takes charge. Sometimes the power of your mind and sometimes the power of your mouth moves under the orders of Maya. Therefore, constantly make your physical senses work under your orders. Don't say, I didn't want it to happen, but it happened. I didn't want to say that, but I didn't mean it, but I said it. That's not being a master. That's not being a king. So only what you want to happen should happen. Only if you fill yourselves with the sanskars of a self sovereign now will you be able to rule the kingdom there. Never come off your seat of a self sovereign. If your physical senses are under your orders, all the powers will then remain under your orders. Whatever power you need at a particular time will present itself at that time. It should not be that you order the power of tolerance to come and it comes when the task has been accomplished. You order power of tolerance and the power comes when the task is accomplished or some other power comes. No. When I am a king, I am a master. Whatever I order, that has to come. It's just like when you go to go to a restaurant or someplace and you order something, no? And they give you something else. The customer is the king, right? So they have to fulfill your order. So in the same way, do my sense organs consider me to be the king? Or they feel that, aha, we can take our king for granted. But I, the soul, am the king. Let every power be ready according to your orders, because each power is a gift from God. Therefore, God's gifts have become things that belong to you. So you can use anything that belongs to you as you like, whenever you like. In this way, all of those powers will remain under your orders. All your physical senses will remain under your orders. This is known as being a self sovereign, a master, almighty authority. It's not just about repeating that I'm master, almighty authority or writing it 100 times that I'm master, almighty authority, I'm master, almighty authority, but to remember that I'm master, almighty authority, to remember that I am the king. I am master, almighty authority, I'm the king. I have all godly powers in me. I am the king over my sense organs. So that is becoming Master Almighty Authority. So are you Pandavas like this? You are Master Almighty Authorities and also self-sovereigns. Don't say that it just came out of your mouth. Who ordered it to emerge like that? I didn't want to look at it, but I looked at it. I didn't want to do it, but it happened. According to those orders, according to whose orders does this happen? If you didn't want to do it, then how did it happen? If I didn't want to spend an hour just scrolling over social media, then how did it happen? What was going on? Was I the king at that time? Or did I become the servant over the sense organ, the eyes? And that's why Baba says the eyes deceive us the most because a lot of information goes through the eyes to the soul. And once that information goes in, the soul has to process it. I will process it. It will become a part of my subconscious. So I have to be very careful of what I'm taking in through these eyes. So Baba says, how did it happen? What were you doing when it was happening? Would you call this having a right or being controlled? So become someone who has a right, not someone who is controlled. Acha, Babdada says, just as all of you are very happy in Madhuban, in the same way you must always remain happy and content. You are spiritual roses. Look, look everywhere. All of you are spiritual roses, roses in bloom. You have not wilted. You are roses in bloom. Therefore, remain constantly fortunate and cheerful. Anyone who sees your faces should ask you what you have received because you look very happy. Let each one's face give the Father's introduction. Just as a picture gives an introduction, in the same way, let your faces give the Father's introduction that you have found the Father. Acha, is everything okay? Those from abroad have also arrived here. You like it here, do you not? To Moini Ben of New York. At least you have been saved from having to hear about the upheaval. It is good that all of you have come together. You did very well in coming here together. Acha, double foreigners. You have double intoxication, do you not? You have so much intoxication that your hearts say, if anyone is this, then it is we double foreigners who are this. If anyone is fortunate, then it's me. If anyone is Master Almighty Authority, it's me. If anyone is the ocean, Master Ocean of Peace, it's me. So that is the intoxication. You have double intoxication of being self sovereigns and of the ones who have a right to the world. You have double intoxication, do you not? Even Bab Dada likes this. If there aren't any double foreigners in a group, it doesn't feel good. Baba is the father of the world, and so those from the world have to be here as well. All are required. There still isn't any splendor if the mothers are not here. Even if there aren't any Pandavas, the splendor is reduced. Just look if a center doesn't have any Pandavas, but only mothers, would you like it? Also, if there were only Pandavas and no Shaktis, then too the center wouldn't have that beauty. Both are needed. Children are also needed. Children say, why is our name not mentioned? There's the splendor of children too. Acha, now in a second, become incorporeal souls absorbed in the love and remembrance of the incorporeal Father. Baba conducted drill. The drill of being incorporeal in love with the Father. Yeah? To all the self sovereigns everywhere, To the unshakable and immovable souls who remain constantly set on the seats of detached observers, to the merciful souls who constantly maintain the awareness of being bestowers, who bestow knowledge, power, and virtues on everyone, to the elevated souls who constantly show the image of the Father through their faces, to the children who are spiritual roses and who remain constantly happy and fortunate. Babdada's love, remembrance, and namaste. The spiritual father says namaste to the spiritual children and the spiritual.
हम रूहानी बच्चों की रूहानी मात
रूहानी माता
पिता
पिता
बाप
बाप
दादा
दादा को
प्यार
याद
प्यार
प्यार गुड
गुड
मॉर्निंग
मॉर्निंग
और
और
नमस्ते
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 नमस्ते शुक्रिया
शुक्रिया
बाबा
बाबा
शुक्रिया
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 शुक्रिया शुक्रिया
Babdada speaking to the dadis. Along with service, there are also programs of 108 hours of yoga taking place everywhere. The flames of destruction will only become forceful through this volcanic fire. Programs are being made and then they begin to talk about it. With yoga, the sins and the burden of sinful actions will burn, and by doing service, your account of charity will accumulate. So, through yoga, the sins will burn, and by doing service, the account of charity will increase. So, you are accumulating your accounts of charity. However, only with the fire of yoga, not with ordinary yoga, will the burden of sanskars of the past burn. At the moment, you have yoga, but it is not volcanic fire in which sins can be burnt. This is why they are destroyed for a short time, but they then emerge again. Also, just look at Ravan. He is killed and burned, and his bones are thrown into the water. Everything has to be completely incinerated, that is, completely burnt. The sanskars of the past, weak sanskars, should all be completely incinerated. They are not yet burned. They are killed, but not yet burned. So after dying, they come back to life. That means our sanskars. They go away for some time, but then they are back. The world will be transformed through the transformation of sanskars. We say, right? When I change, the world will change. So, what needs to be changed in me? It's the sanskars. So, the world will be transformed through the transformation of sanskars. The game of sanskars is now taking place. Sanskars emerge in between every now and then. All name and trace have to be destroyed. The transformation of sanskars is a matter to be especially underlined. Because the sanskars are not transformed, there are also waste thoughts. Time is wasted and a wasteful loss is incurred. This has to happen. Someone said, time makes you do it and it will happen through your own efforts. So Baba says when the so someone said that time will make us do. So Baba says both together will make it happen. Time and your own efforts will make it happen. The Maharas, the great dance of the harmonizing of sanskars, is remembered. Have you seen the Maharas when they do the Ras, no, the Garba Ras? Everybody is so much in sync, right, with each other. The Ras, right? So when they do the Ras with the sticks, they play this Ras. So it's like harmonizing, right? If you are going in this direction and they go in some other direction, it's not harmonizing. So here Baba says that we have to continue to play the ras, the dance of harmonizing the sanskars. The memorial of the Maharas is the memorial of the great dance of harmonizing sanskars. Just the Ras now takes place, but the Maharas has not yet taken place. Why doesn't the Maharas take place? It isn't underlined that I have to harmonize my sanskars. There isn't that determination. There are various types of carelessness. That's why the Ras takes place. So sometimes it happens, but it doesn't happen all the time. Acha, today's blessing. May you be a constant yogi and a karma yogi. May you be a constant yogi and a karma yogi, and thereby make your every thought, word, and action elevated. May you be a constant yogi and a karma yogi, and thereby make your every thought, word, and action elevated. Every act of a karma yogi soul is yog yuk and yukti yuk. Yog yuk, that is in yog, and yukti yuk means in the right method, using the right method. Yukti means method. If any action of yours is not yukti yuk, you can then understand that you are not yog yuk. If I'm not following the right, accurate method, then I'm not yog yuk. If your actions are ordinary or wasteful, you cannot be said to be a constant yogi. A karma yogi is someone whose every thought and word are constantly elevated at every second. A sign of elevated actions is that you yourself would be content and others too would be content. Only such souls can be constant yogis. When I am content and others are also content. That's the sign of being a karma yogi. That's the sign that my actions are yog yuk and yukti yuk. Many times people think that yukti yuk means being politically correct. No, it's not being politically correct. Yukti yuk means following the accurate method given to us by Baba, which is Srimad. So when I am accurately following Srimad, then I am Yukti Yuk. The word Yukti also means options, right? Like different things. So sometimes people feel that, okay, if this is not working, let me use another Yukti to make it happen, to make it work. So it's also used that way. That's fine. Yes, I can use another Yukti, I can use another method to make things happen or to accomplish a task. So it can be used that way. But the yukti that I'm using has to be in alignment with Srimad. It cannot be in alignment with Manmat, with my direction, with my mind, or, just trying to please someone, just trying to get my things done. I could use other methods. No, the other methods cannot be away from Srimad. They have to be in alignment with Srimad. So Yukti Yuk, we have to understand Yukti Yuk. So Baba says, if you're not Yukti Yuk, that means you're not Yog Yuk. Because if I'm using the accurate method, if I'm following Srimad, that means I'm automatically Yog Yuk. I am in Baba's remembrance. Because whose Srimad it is? So that's how we become Karma Yogis. If I'm just performing actions to please someone, that's why it's really important to be so clean inside out, to really check what is my intention over here. Is my intention in alignment with Srimad? Or is my intention just pleasing someone? Is my intention just to accomplish the task? However it is. What is my intention over here? What am I trying to accomplish when when I'm performing an action or when I'm using a different method? So we have to check. Sometimes we say certain things, certain words just to please the other person because it's okay now. Let me just say it. Let me just please them. Let me just make them happy. Is that the right intention to make others happy by saying something that's not coming from my heart, where I know it's not coming from my heart? So that's why Baba's saying, working on the sanskar level, where I'm transforming my sanskars to such an extent that I see only the good. I'm not letting anybody's defects touch or influence me. I only see the good. It's not that sometimes I see good and sometimes I see bad, and then I see the defects and then I know their defects and I think about their defects, but when I speak to them or when I am just trying to please them, saying that, oh, no, 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 you are so good. We know it. We know it from inside when we are not genuine about what we speak. So I have to keep checking from what place am I performing my actions. Slogan: a soul who is loved by himself, loved by people, and loved by God is said to be a blessed image. A soul who is loved by the self, who is loved by God, and loved by people is said to be a blessed image. Fortune, right? To be loved by self, loved by others, loved by God. And that's why self love, to love myself, I have to know myself. When people talk about self love, they talk about, just self pampering, pampering the body, taking a day of rest, or going for a spa, self love. But in this way, we are just taking care of the physical, the body. Do I know myself? And I know that the body is not self. The body is not who I am. The soul is who I am. So self love means to empower the soul, to love the soul. And when I love myself, I will make effort to better myself. I will make effort to grow. I will not waste time holding on to people's grudges, to things of the past. That's not self love. So if I have love for myself, I will be more forgiving. I will make more effort. I will make effort to become more pure, more peaceful. Self love. So we have to understand the self. We are trying to build a life uh, based on a foundation which is so temporary. And the foundation is that we think that I am the name, I am the gender, I am the religion, I am the role I play, I am my education, I am my title, I am the color of my skin, I am the designation I have, I am the money I have, I am defined by the family, I'm defined by, you know, the the attention or the social media followers. We think this is who I am. And all of this is temporary. All of this can change. All of each one of this can change. It's not permanent. And think about it, I'm building the building of my life on this foundation, which is so temporary, which can shift so easily. How will my building be? How will my life be? My building will also fall off. That's why we see that when, I'm creating my identity based on anything outside, it will be temporary. So that's why I need to understand, who am I, the self. It's very important to understand the self. Who am I? And this self is the permanent self. I am a soul. The self respect that Baba gives us every day in the Murli is eternally who we are. Baba is not giving us self respect just to please us, to make us happy. No, He's giving us this self respect so that we remember who we are, so that we go beyond this body, this costume, the labels that I have attached myself to, the identity, the false identities that we think we are. So that's the self respect. That's who we truly are. So, reminding, Baba said today, right? Sit, be seated on the throne of that self respect. Operate from that self respect throughout the day. And then see what life becomes. Because now, what foundation am I laying is of truth. The foundation I'm laying is of eternity. The foundation that I'm laying is in connection with God. That's why Baba said today that we are seated near the seed in the picture of the tree, because we are the foundation connected to the seed, stable, unshakable, because I am seated on my seat of self respect. That's the foundation I need for my life. So it's very empowering Murli today, intoxicating Murli today. So read it again, listen to it again, and bring it practically in our life. Sha, Om Shanti. So let's take a minute to remember Baba. I remain seated on the seat, on the throne of the center of the forehead. I, the soul, I'm a master. I'm a king, a sovereign. I, the soul, I'm a king of my sense organs. I'm a king of my mind, intellect, and sanskars. As a king, I have a right to order my mind, my intellect, my sanskars, my sense organs to behave. A master almighty authority I'm God's messenger. By becoming a bestower, I'm able to give. I'm a bestower of knowledge. I'm a bestower of powers and virtues. I'm a bestower of blessings. Through my drishti, through my words, through my actions, I reveal God. I reveal my Supreme Father, my Supreme Teacher. My life becomes a showcase to give God's introduction. Visualize God's canopy over you, this canopy of protection. I'm safe and protected under God's canopy. I've surrendered my mind, my intellect, my life to God. He is responsible. I just have to be under His canopy, and He is responsible. I become a karma yogi, being yog yukt and yukti yukt. When I perform actions as a karma yogi, I accumulate blessings. I accumulate in my account of charity. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. So remember God's canopy, protected, not to be afraid of anything. I am protected. Right? So have a great day with Baba. See you tomorrow. Om Shanti. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, Didi.
Om Shanti.